Let's talk about a topic I haven't discussed much, but I probably should have been because it's annoyed me for so long now. But we finally have a hook in the news to start the conversation. We all know that the right wing loves to restrict speech whenever they get offended and whenever they dislike it. For example, the Catholic League called for Bill Maher to get fired whenever he says something that's anti-religion, which is every day. You have the Martin Bashir situation, Mike Huckabee, Fox News, they universally screamed to fire Martin Bashir because of his comments on Sarah Palin. So they love to play that game, like, oh, let's censor somebody when they say something we don't like. But unfortunately, a lot of people who think that they are liberals agree with that mentality. And I see this oftentimes with some writers on Salon. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of Salon I think is great, and they do a pretty good job on many issues. But sometimes they go over the line, and they take that mentality of like trying to shut up people who they think might have said something offensive. And it happens on Think Progress occasionally too. So the left does it too, unfortunately, because I always like to say that if that's what you're in favor of, the censoring or trying to shut up people like a comedian who has a joke that you don't like or whatever, that's not liberal. That's not liberal. That's authoritarian. That's you trying to craft the world, the outer world, to agree with what you agree with. That's what the right wing likes to do. That's silly. That's silly. It's fine to not like something, but that doesn't mean you have to try to, shut them up or kick them off the air or censor them or write articles about how, let me tell you why I'm offended. Shut the fuck up. Just don't watch it if you don't like it. Well, anyway, let me play a clip for you because we have a new example of joke outrage that we've seen over and over. This is a Jimmy Fallon joke from last night.
I want to say congrats to Chelsea Clinton last week. She announced that she is expecting her first child. That's great. That's great for her. Yeah, if it's a girl, it'll get some Chelsea's old hand-me-downs, and if it's a boy, it'll get some of Hillary's. It's very, it's a little pantsuit, It's a little cream pantsuit.
Somebody at Think Progress wrote an entire article about that joke. Let me give you some of the excerpts. Quote, Jimmy Fallon made a joke that totally bombed. The audience did not find this funny. There were a few tiny giggles, but mostly boos. The joke would have killed approximately 10 years ago. Hillary pantsuit jokes had their heyday, right around when Chelsea Clinton still had braces. Fallon is supposed to be the host who gets young people, their values, their humor, their nostalgia. This felt like a joke he borrowed from someone else, like maybe his dad. For starters, not to keep complaining about how late night is a bunch of guys, but late night is a bunch of guys. The pantsuit bit strikes me as a joke that a woman would have screened as obviously not funny. As far as the dresses are for girls, pantsuits are for boys element of the joke, well, that's also pretty dated territory. And it would be the greatest if we could stop ragging on Hillary for dressing the way she wants to dress. In fact, let's stop ragging on all women for dressing the way they want to dress. And it goes on and on and on and on. That's not even half of the article. My response to this is, calm down. It is a joke. You don't like it, don't listen to it, okay? And what's up with the assumption in the middle of the article that, well, this is a joke that obviously a woman would have screened as not funny? Whoa, 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 whoa. Who the fuck said we should be screening jokes? No, comedy is supposed to not be screened. It's supposed to be no filter. No, but stop for a second and think about this. Imagine a world where all comedy offended nobody. It would be the most boring world imaginable. In fact, comedy wouldn't be comedy. All comedy would be Leave It to Beaver. It would be totally not funny, totally not controversial. You're not pushing the envelope. You're not talking about new theories and ideas and mindsets and not thinking outside of the box. Everything is pre-approved by a panel that says, make sure this doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. What a silly way of thinking, man. See, in my opinion, it's stuff like this that gives liberals a bad name. The outrage over a late-night comedy routine. In my mind, if you're a comedian, you get almost a 100% pass. And I can give example after example of things that are like some people would say are controversial, but what if we censored them, we just wouldn't have as rich of a comedy scene. So Bill Maher, for example, he does a joke about he would like Obama to be more gangsta and more black, as he puts it, right? And the idea is, I'd love to see him in a purple suit, smoking a Black and Mild, and I don't know, doing something else, whatever. And the joke kills. I saw his stand-up live. Everybody's fucking laughing. Or how about when Daniel Tosh got in trouble? You remember this? Somebody in the audience screamed at Daniel Tosh. He said to the audience, Tosh said to the audience, what should I talk about now? What should I make jokes about now? Somebody in the audience screamed, rape. And he goes, yeah, because that's funny. So he was mocking the idea of making jokes about rape. Like, that's obviously not a funny topic. And then some lady in the audience chimed in like, no, actually, rape is never funny. And then him obviously pointing out the fact that she's not sensing the irony that he was making that point too. He said, wouldn't it be funny if you got raped right now? And then everybody laughed. People laughed. So, but they wrote articles all over the place about it. Oh my God, Daniel Tosh is in favor of rape. He's pro-rape. He just admitted it. See. The only way you can come to that conclusion is if you purposefully shut your eyes to the context. And you purposefully pretended like he wasn't anti-rape. He actually said, yeah, that's funny. As if like, why are you recommending that? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And there's so many examples. Patton Oswalt wrote a joke about remember the news station that got pranked with the fake Asian names, the Asiana Airlines, after the Asiana Airlines crash, where it was like, Sum Ting Wang, We Too Low, Bang Ding Ow. And he wrote a tweet that said something like, is We So Sally going to comment from the agency, from the airline? And Salon like fired back like, this is offensive. And then, of course, Patton Oswalt infamously or famously ripped them a new asshole like he should have. Or how about the hashtag cancel Colbert bullshit, where Stephen Colbert was mocking the Redskins for not changing their name, but instead like saying, yeah, we're going to give a little bit of money to Native American charities. Anyway, go away. And so he said, in support of Asians, I'm going to start up the, whatever, Ching Chong Ding Dong or whatever charity. And he was clearly mocking the racism of the Redskins owners. But a liberal named, I think, Suey Park, I never heard of her until that story, so I might have butchered that, but she was against it. Other liberals on Twitter were hashtag cancel Colbering. Like, you don't even understand that he's attacking racism, and you think you're attacking him because you think he's racist. It's always either a misunderstanding, or, I'm sorry, just some really, really stupid fucks, or some people who have too much time on their hands who get angry about comedy routines. I think back to Kevin James from King of Queens, great comedian. He, in his stand-up, one time he did a joke about how, like, fat people don't need an excuse to sweat. His friend would come over and be like, geez, man, sweating, what are you, jumping rope in the attic? And he's like, no, I peeled an orange about an hour ago, why? So what, should he not say, Kevin James, offending fat people? How dare you say that fat people sweat and what are you trying to say, fat people smell? Are you trying to say they're uglier than other people? Are you being anti-fat? Is that what you're being? But what are we supposed to do here? How about even just this idea, the idea that, you can never talk about the way women dress. So what, just unilaterally that topic is off the table? Why don't you make a list of all the topics we're allowed to talk about? Nothing will be left because everything is going to offend somebody. How about... in the same area, I remember Dave Chappelle had a classic bit where he talks about how, if a girl's like going out to a club or something and she's wearing a really short dress and she's wearing like a really revealing shirt where her boobs are popping out of the top of her turtleneck, as he put it, it's true. It's absolutely true that you shouldn't judge her and say, well, she's a whore, because that's not the case. A woman can obviously dress in a revealing way, but not be a whore. But then he said, but you have to admit it is fucking confusing. It's like me, Dave Chappelle, the comedian, walking around in a police officer's uniform, and then when somebody comes up and says, officer, help! Help, they're over here, we need you! Dave going, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I am this way. Classic bit about, the way women dress. Is that off the table too? Do we need to go back in the archives and delete all the Dave Chappelle skits that might offend somebody? For fuck's sake, man, get over it. If you're a liberal, if you're a progressive, you know what you need to be in favor of? Free speech. Period. End of discussion. You're in favor of free speech. Even the speech that you fucking hate. Okay? Who was it? Voltaire or Oscar Wilde or one of them had a great quote about, it's easy to, agree to believe in free speech when they're saying something you agree with. It's protecting free speech when you despise what they're saying that is the height of being principled. And that's the point, man. You're supposed to protect free speech. It's a principle. It's not, hey, when we like it, we're in favor. When we don't like it, we're against it. So grow up, man. If you're a liberal who's in favor of restricting shit like this, you're not a liberal. You're an authoritarian. We don't want you on our team. You agree more with the conservatives on issues like this. Go away. Go away. Stop with the silliness. There's more important things to care about and talk about. Like what? You didn't have time to write an article about, trying to eliminate poverty, getting rid of the income inequality gap, getting a better healthcare system in the U.S., is stopping American imperialism. What, there's nothing else to write about that's more important than a fucking joke that Jimmy Fallon told? Who, by the way, Jimmy Fallon is one of the least controversial comics on every topic, to the point where I don't even like watching him because he's so boring, in my opinion. But he stepped over the line a little bit, so now we're going to be angry. Shut off!